Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh Bashem, Shah Bashem, Makakodash, giving all praises to Yahweh Bashem, Shah Bashem, Makakodash. Now, Thani Kal, Palauyan, La Yahweh Bashem, Shah Bashem, Makakodash. And I'm going to entitle this video, The Earth Have Been Made Drunk with the Wine of Her Fornication. So we're going to focus on the word fornication. I didn't set up anything. I didn't put no precepts together, so I'm just going to be led by the Spirit. Anyway, I'm going to show you this from this video of 4 military men from the U.S. I guess their army. They went to Poland, so this individual sounds like an Edomite. You don't see his face, and I believe he lives in Poland. Let me find the video. And I'm gonna just let you hear about a minute, and I hope you can hear it. I hope it's loud and clear. You know how we do. Anyway, I hope you can hear it. If not, I'll leave the link in the description box so you can watch this. This is only about a minute and change long. But the main part is right what I'm gonna show you right now. And then I'm going to go back into the word fornication, corruption, made drunk. So, listen up. Like I said, I don't know how long this is going to be. This may be a short one. Then again, most I might make this a long video. Let's see where the Spirit takes me. But before I go into it, with the U.S. Military, what they bring to the world is corruption. Even though they bring it with a smile, they don't spread. Like in the U.S., you have presidents. I don't know about governors and all that, but every time you have the president become inaugurated, look up that word augur. That goes back to the Romans, this ancient pagan Romans, and a Caesar or emperor was inaugurated as well, and that word goes back to witchcraft, goes back to the casting of spells and to prophecy, but prophecy from the left-hand side, because you had a spiritual side, a religion, if you will, of the Roman Empire, that the elites, the Senate, and the Caesars and the council is higher than Senate. You become a Senate, right? You have the Senate today, then you have council, which is higher than the Senate, and then over that is the Caesar. So this is the same system all over again. This is how we know that this is Rome all over again. Rome used the eagle as their national bird animal. Same thing with America. Esau also used the eagle. When you go back and you look at, go to Google and put up Petra. It'll lead you to that castle that's chiseled out of a mountain, and it's the same architecture as the Roman Empire. The main capital of the Roman Empire, and where the Senate dwelt or sat down, and you see on these this monument Petra, you see eagles. Same. So this is Esau all over again. We have identified who the so-called white man is and why is he on top? Because he's Esau. He's an Edomite. So what they do is they corrupt the world. At one point, I don't know if they still do it, but at one point they used to send missionaries to give you the gospel. Actually, it would send mercenaries, and then the missionaries behind that, they would destroy the land, And then they would bring in their missionaries, which are they're Christian preachers, and they would push that Christianity. So part of this system is Christianity, but more so a political system. And ultimately, to prove your loyalty to this system, ultimately you're gonna have to take the charagma, which is the MOTB, the C-hip, and the C-hip, which we always talk about. We always talk about us here at Great Millstone. We always talk about the C-hip, the MOTB, the charagma. If you notice, there's another couple. Sakari, they teach it, of course. HODC, they know it, but they don't teach it. They don't push it. We're always pushing it. We push the whole charagma MOTB thing to ad nauseum until it's nauseating to people. Oh, they're talking about that again. Well, we keep talking about it. Number one, the Spirit's on us to talk about it. And number two is when it comes to pass, you're going to know who said it. What does it say in Ezekiel 30, the 33rd chapter? Then when you read down from the 30th verse, those last few verses, it says, then they shall know that there's been a prophet among them. So, I expect when this thing comes out, I expect certain camps to pop up and start saying, well, that's the MOTB, like they've always been saying. But everybody's going to say, nope, it was GMS that kept saying it. GMS kept saying it. GMS was right. Great Millstone was right. And that's the final deception. When you go to Revelation, and it's in various chapters in Revelation, Revelation 13, Revelation 14, Revelation 19, Revelation 20. Just to name a few of those chapters, main chapters, it speaks about the MOTB, but it says that they're going to be deceived, not forced necessarily. They're going to be deceived. They're going to present it in a way where you want to get it, and if you're on welfare, you got to get it. If you get food stamps, you got to get it. Medicaid, Medicare, you got to get it. Your jobs, your private jobs, your public jobs. All these men in the military, they're going to take it. Some of them will say, no, that's the MOTB. I want to discharge. But then when you go back to life and you go shopping, you're still going to have to get it. So we don't know how severe that's going to be. We don't know how the Most High is going to take care of us. But I ain't planning on getting it at all. Just kill me. Kill me, man. Chop my damn head off. And that's ultimately, we're going to see who's truly faithful to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua and who's not. Because you better get in the mindset that if they lock your ass up in a prison, Revelation 2:10, or they kill you, you gotta be prepared. That's the ultimate test. So anyway, let this play. Let this play for about a minute, and then we'll talk about it. Yeah, fornication. They bring fornication around the whole planet Earth. And ultimately, that's why the nations will become angry, mad. That's in Jeremiah. And I'm going to get that as well. So let's go.
You guys here to spread sodomy or what? Isn't that what America's #1 export is? Isn't that what America? You guys here to spread sodomy or what? Isn't that what America's #1 export is?
And this is what these men do. They go around, and this is in Poland, by the way. They're stationed in Poland. And what these Polish women will do, or any woman, they'll see American GIs and they want to have sex with them. Well, these men want to have sex with these women. And a lot of adultery they don't bring righteousness. This country does not. If you believe that America brings righteousness to the world, you are fucking out of your fucking, your bloody mind. You're out of your damn mind. And you will take the MOTB and you will be burnt up in this goddamn place. There's videos out going viral of, well, sheep, but now there's videos out of different animals in different, I guess, different parts of the world. I saw one video on it of these sheep at a farm, and they formed a perfect circle, and they kept walking around in the circle. And one of the first things, a lot of things came to mind. I said, well, that's prophecy. That's the Most High putting the spirit on these animals. But I thought about Jericho. Did not the Most High tell Israel to circle around Jericho? And Jericho, the walls came tumbling down. Remember, in the ancient world, jurisdiction, if you was in a jurisdiction of a city, you was inside of a wall. Outside of that wall that was put up that circled the city, like Jerusalem, outside that wall was considered no man's land. So if you wanted to kill somebody, make sure they're not inside of any wall of a city, because the laws apply to that, to you coming into that city. Now you have invisible walls. You know, you can go from New York to New Jersey, from Jersey to Delaware, from Delaware to Pennsylvania. You know, you can take 95 all the way down to Florida, and you're not going to see any walled cities. So the walled cities today are really jurisdictions, but they're invisible walls. Go through a red light in New York, and then now the law is if they're in hot pursuit and you go to another state, that they can go into that other state and work with law enforcement in the next state. But if you go through a red light, NYPD officer sees you, he calls his buddy in New Jersey. Oh, this guy went through a red light in New York, and the Jersey guy, you know, pulls you over and say you went through a red light. That case is going nowhere because it's out of their jurisdiction. And that's the invisible walls. Anyway, let's listen again. I'll stop and I'll go, and I'll stop and I'll go. So this is what America brings. It says, be a Christian, go to church on, you know, Easter Sundays, you know, do the whole Thanksgiving thing. All you simple ass bird brain Negroes, which all of you, you're all a bunch of fuck ups and you're all gonna die. Now, if you can tell me what movie I got that from, you're good. You got all these niggas, even these conscious niggas, their mama's cooking turkey and they go, none of you Israelites should be eating turkey on that day. Unless it's a turkey sandwich that you got from the deli. You just happen to eat turkey. What did I eat on that day? I had a pizza, a cauliflower pizza, and it was good too. Anyway, you get into the spirit of Christmas, you get into the spirit of Easter, and you know, these various so-called high holy days or holidays, which holidays mean holy, hallowed days, and there's nothing hallowed. They're pagans, pagan festivals, pagan feasts. But what America pushes is, like I said, president is inaugurated, goes back to the Roman Caesars. That means you're endowed with power to see the future. The demons start to work with you. Like there's another thing, I forget what it's called. I did a video on it. See, years ago, back in 2012, 2013, we was doing those deep, in-depth videos. Now we kind of touch the surface of things. So you got to watch these videos that we did in the past. But we did one video where we were going into the history of Caesar being inaugurated, and they would see birds. I forget what it was called, but they would see white birds flying in a certain pattern, and you would have people read the pattern of the birds, and they would say, this is going to happen, or that's going to happen. And where was the place that my Roman history? So I forgot most of it, but there's an actual place. Damn, I can't think of it. They said that Peter was buried there. I think that's where Vatican City is today. But that was like the gathering place. Somebody help me out. So the gathering place of these Caesars and these Senate, they would go It was similar to the what do you call it, Bohemian Grove. So they had their Bohemian Grove. So there was a spiritual side of the Roman Empire for the Senate, for the elite, for the super rich. Same, just like today. When you become rich, you get approached by the other rich, the other super rich, and they're all Satanists. You have to be Satanist because who's in power? Pluto is in power, which is the Roman equivalent of the Greek god Hades or Hades. And Hades, he can bring you to hell and torture you. The old myth goes, or he can give you riches because it comes from the earth. You can get buried in the earth, and they say that there's hell down there, which is BS. But there's gold, silver, all kind of resources in the earth that Pluto's can give you. And it was said that Pluto's is blind, so you have the wicked going to him for riches. This is the whole myth. And they're saying, no, I'm good, but they're really wicked. But he can't see them, whether they're good or wicked, because he's blind. That's a whole thing, but that's going into Greco-Roman mythology, because it was the Romans that took these Greek gods and gave them different names. The number one Greek god among the Greeks, the Hellenized, is Zeus, and Zeus had brothers, Poseidon, Hades. Who else? Poseidon, Hades. Poseidon was a god of the sea. Hades was a god of the underworld, where he gave you riches, minerals, and so forth. What was the other ones? And then he had sons who go down and become in the form of a man, take an unexpected woman, pop the woman, and she'll find out that the child that she bore was really Zeus impregnating her, but she thought it was a man, and this guy has superpowers. Look, just like all these superhero movies that you see, the DC comics and Marvel comics and all that, they did that back there in the ancient Greeks and the Romans. They actually believed in these gods. So what these guys bring, they bring corruption to the world. They bring corruption to the world, to the whole planet Earth. That's why this place has to go. So let's listen again. Please forgive me, I'm ranting.
What is it? Is it George Floyd culture, or is it sodomy? What do you guys think about? What is it? Is it George Floyd for this? What is it? America's #1 export is? What is it? Isn't that what America's #1 export is? Isn't that what America? You guys here to spread sodomy or what? Isn't that what America's #1 export is? Sodomy or what? Isn't that what America's #1 export is? What is it? Isn't that what America's #1 export is? It's sodomy or what? Isn't that what America's #1?
That's why these devils laugh. That's how the military men laugh, because that's what they're doing. They're going into malls, and they're looking at certain women and see if there's an attraction there. Because a lot of these Polish women, they're into American men, but they're into Jake men mostly. All Edomite women fantasize about getting with Jake if they're not getting with him already. And the ones that don't, I'm not gonna get with a nigga. She never experienced a Jake, and then once she's experienced it, all of a sudden she's gonna fall head over heels in love with that Jake. So this is what these guys. This is called R&R, rest and relaxation. What they did, that going to buy a gift for their mother or their wives at home. And probably all these guys are married. But guess what? When they go overseas, and the women in the military too, for you boneheaded, knuckle ass head niggas, you clown ass, punk ass, bitch ass niggas. And when I say that, I'm talking about Jake, I'm talking about Ephraim, I'm talking about all the tribes that have wives that are in the military. You and your wife is in the military, your wife is stationed somewhere else. Guess what? She's getting it in with somebody else. She's getting it in with somebody else. And in the military, they rape, they go crazy raping these American women that's in the military, American men. There was a big thing years ago on CNN where they had a report that I think it was the U.S. Army or the military as a whole, they said there's 26,000 open cases of rape, meaning military men, U.S. men raping men, women, goats, other animals. This is what this place brings. And that's why this place is going to be destroyed. And anybody that says that Babylon the Great is Vatican City is a fucking idiot. This place is getting ready to go. When you read about Babylon the Great, when you read about Babylon the Great in the book of Revelation, all right, let me let you listen to this.
An expert is? What is it? Is it George Floyd culture for this? Sodomy or what? You guys Americans? You guys here to spread sodomy or what? Isn't that what America's number?
That's exactly what they're going to do. That's exactly what they're going to do. That's why the guy laughed, because it's all you got. You caught us. They spread diseases. They teach these weird sex acts. You're not supposed to do it in the butt. I don't give a damn what General Yohana said. You're not supposed to do it in the butt. I knew that back when I was a kid. I knew that long before I came into truth. I wasn't going to just one chick. Don't do it to my son. No, I'm not with that. I'm not with that. What the hell am I gonna put my penis in something that shit come out of? Let's listen.
Number one export is? What is it? Is it George Floyd culture or is it sodomy? What do you guys think about your health secretary being a tranny?
Yeah, the health secretary. He was the health secretary of Pennsylvania. It was a fat, small hat. There was a fat, small hat man, older man, dressed up like a damn woman. He was the head medical guy of Pennsylvania, and he became the federal head guy. And it's a guy, and you can clearly see that it's a man, an old, fat, small hat. It's a small hat. He got a small hat name, and the ADL will never go against him because they're part of that debauchery. Fucking Latins talking shit in the hallway. Their loud ass mouths. All right, so let's listen to some more. Anyway, I'm not going to bring the picture up because the ADL might come after me. And y'all, everybody's waking up. You know what? You did a great work, you ADL. My hat goes off to you because what you did was, coming against Kyrie, coming against Ye, coming against Nick Cannon, coming against others. Everybody's talking about the Hebrew Israelites now. With IUIC, there was a gimmick, but it was a good thing. Ultimately, it was a good thing because guess what? You're talking about Israelites now. The whole conversation has changed. Ain't nobody trying to go back to fucking Africa. Are you out your fucking mind? All them Kemetic cats, they all live in America. And the closest they'll go to Africa is they'll take a trip to Africa. They'll go to the pyramids, and they got to answer to the Arabs. The Arabs run that shit. So come on.
Hey guys, what do you guys think about your health secretary being tranny? Nothing? What do you guys think about defending a country that has, there's no meaning to be a citizen? Like any Mexican crossing the border is literally one of you. What do you guys think? Are you guys here to spread anal sex to Poland?
Why do you think? And it was a nigga that laughed. It was a nigga that laughed. Because he's going to be the main one. He's probably the main one. He's hanging out with them fucking white boys. Let's bring this shit back. Let's bring this back. So you can spread an anal sex.
What do you guys think? Are you guys here to spread anal sex to Poland? What? Isn't that what you guys learn in your training? You guys literally have a
Okay, so that's all you need. And that's what these guys are doing. They're looking for women and men, because they play both sides. There's a lot of homosexuality. If you want a sex change operation, and you want to go from a man to a woman to a man, if you go to the prison system, they'll pay for it. They'll pay for it. That's a lot of money to change your damn plumbing. If you go to the military, they'll change it. What's this guy that got information? He was working with the WikiLeaks guy. I can't remember the guy's name, but anyway, damn, I can't remember his name, but he went in the military as a man, and I believe he went to prison, and then it was in the prison system that they changed him into a woman. Manning or something like that. Something Manning. But that's what happens here in this country. But you say it's a God-fearing country. God bless America. There's a song out, oh, I'm proud to be an American, but at least I know I'm free. There's nothing free about this motherfucking place, man. Even you Edomites are not free. We're certainly not free. Anyway, forgive me for my rant. Let's go. Let me bring up, let me go here. Let me bring up the blue letter. This is in Jeremiah 50 or 51. I believe it's 50. Jeremiah 51. Well, 52, 50 also. Jeremiah 50 verse, what is that, 38. A drought is upon the waters, and they shall be dried up, for it is the land of graven images, and they are mad upon their idols. You know, they're actors, they're actresses. You know, like LeBron Jameses and the Michael Jordans and the you know, the Kyries and so forth. I can go on naming names. In the boxing world, in the sport world, in the acting world, those are idols. It says Jeremiah 51 verse 7, Babylon, which we know it's talking about this place, not ancient Babylon, have been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Her wine represents what? Her philosophy. See, if you're a quiet person and you drink liquor, it might make you bring you out of your shell. You all wild. You put, they tell you, you know what you did, man. We got video of what you did. You crazy. You got naked, party, and you wanted to fight somebody. And you were talking shit. What wine and liquors do? It's an intoxicant. It's a drug. It's a legal drug, but it's a drug. And it changes your inner you. It changes your personality. It makes, if you're drunk, the scriptures speak about sitting at all with her at the wine in the Apocrypha. I'm not going to go to that. Somebody can put it in the comment section. That means when you're around a woman, there's the Most High puts within you an attraction for women, and not for men. Unlike Esau and a woman, an attraction for a man. That's natural. That's why it says in Romans 1, they do things against nature. It's natural for a man to be attracted to a woman. So when you sit down with a woman next to you, she's wearing a certain perfume, she's dressed a certain way, and you're thinking, anytime you see a woman, for you real men out there, you judge her by whether you're gonna pop her or not. Oh, I'll hit that. Oh, I'll hit that. Oh yeah, I'll hit that. Nah, if she lost some weight, I'll hit it. That's how we think. So we hope we're not looking at a woman in that way and her being married. If you have a friend that has a wife and you kind of have a little attraction to it, don't come around. Don't come. I did that, man. There's one guy I grew up with, and I met his woman, and we were kind of close. I was young, long before I came to the truth. And I, in my mind, I said, she's a very attractive woman. And then she gave me this look like, you can get some if you want, the eyes, the look. And I never went back to his house. Anytime he said, well, you don't come to the house, I said, hey, I got to do this, I got to do that. I never told him, but I never came back to his house, And that was in my nature. The laws are already in us. That's Romans 2. The laws are already embedded in us, that we know by nature what's right and wrong. Esau doesn't know that because his nature is of the devil. It says, Jeremiah 51:7, Babylon had been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken. Nations, right, which is Poland. You got the U.S. military going out there bringing corruption to Poland. The nations have drunken of her wine, her philosophies. That whole thing about free love, that came from America. The hippie movement, that came from America. And when the hippie movement came out, that was during the time of the Apollo missions, during the time of the Vietnam conflict. Before that, if it said take one aspirin, you took two, you were a drug addict. I remember as a kid, don't hang around with this guy. He's smoking. I forget what they call it, herb or whatever. No, he's on heavy drugs. Now it's medical. Doctors prescribe it to you now. But like I said, this man brings negative to the world. It's not that he's going over there to protect the world. He's going over there to influence the world through their policies, through their philosophy, and which is no philosophy. There's no philosophy in America. It's just do whatever the hell you want to do. Freedom of religion, meaning you can believe in a head of lettuce and they'll protect you for it. You can be Islam. That's why this place is called the land of confusion. The city of confusion in Isaiah 24. They said the nations have drunken of her wine, tasted of her philosophy. Therefore, the nations are mad. So let's pull out some words. Let's pull out drunken. When you're drunk, you do things, and the next day you in jail or whatever. You might be butt naked in a prison with your drawers on, and you say, "What the hell is that?" You don't know what you did because you were under the influence of wine or liquor. So let's get the word drunken. Shatha is a primitive root to drink, to drink, of drinking cup of God's wrath, beautiful, of slaughter, of wicked deeds, to feast, to be drunk. Okay, I'm not going to go to this, but how did Lot's daughters got Lot to lay with the daughters? What was that whole story about? It was about they thought when they saw the devastation of the five cities, main two cities, Sodom and Gomorrah, of course. When they saw the fire come down from heaven, they thought that there was no, it was like the flood all over again, but fire. So they said there's nobody on the earth. It's just our us two, the two daughters of Lot and Lot. Those are the only ones left. And our mother's dead, and blah blah blah. So we got to bring back, people. We got to re-people the earth. And they didn't have news back then. They didn't know if there was survivors. They didn't know how vast that was. Um, so they said, one said, okay, we're going to get our father Lot. We're going to get him drunk off of wine or liquor, whatever, but it was wine. And I'm going to lay with him, and I'm going to get pregnant. And then the next couple of nights or the next night, you're going to do it. And that's where Moab and Ammon came from, which makes sense. That's why they have those eyes, Mongoloidism. And so that's what they did. So at that time, did Lot know what was going on when he was drunk? No, he was drunk. All he know, he felt a woman. He, popped a woman. And then he realized it after the fact. So you do things that you don't even realize that you did if you're drunk. And this is what this place, Babylon, brings to the world: drunkenness. They presented, there's videos on, there's a couple of different African prime ministers or presidents where you have like CNN, a reporter from CNN talking about homosexuality in your country. Do you accept homosexuality in your country? And they'll all say, the African nations say, no, we ain't with that. We ain't with that. And one of them said, no, that's nasty. And then what they do is they'll talk bad about him. So this is the job of Babylon. Is not set up just to influence people in Babylon, but to influence the world. So now let's come back over here. I'm kind of stretching this a little bit, but that's good too. It says Babylon, which we know what Babylon is talking about, have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth. Hold up, that made all the earth. Ancient Babylon didn't have influence of the whole earth. Modern Babylon and New Babylon has influence over the whole planet Earth. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are what? Are mad. Let's look up the word mad. And the word is in the Hebrew is halal. Oh yeah, this is what I wanted. To make a fool of, make into a fool, to act madly, act like a madman. So these nations became mad because of what they did. You go to different countries, they adopted things that they got from America. Now I want to do something. Go to the commentary. Let's see what the commentary has to say. A golden cup. Jeremiah was it ain't saying nothing. Babylon had been a golden cup. The golden cup points to the splendor of Babylon outwardly as a vessel made to honor, but the wine is that cup was the wine in that cup was poisoned, intoxicating. When you're intoxicated, you do think irrational things. You do things that you don't. Oh, I know that's not me. Oh, we got you on video. Men with wild ambitions and dark idolatries. I'm sorry, idolatries. The same image reappears in. Oh, wait a minute. They're telling the truth. They're telling the truth. So in a roundabout way, they're talking about America. It says intoxicated men with wild ambitions and dark idolatries. The same image reappears in Revelation 14 and 8, Revelation 17 and 4, save that there the golden cup is in the hand of the harlot whose name is Mystery Babylon the Great. So they're telling you right there that there's two different Babylons. They're saying that this is a fulfillment of ancient Babylon, but the same thing's going to happen in this new Babylon. But they're not going to tell you that Babylon is America. So now let me do this. I can hardly see this. Okay, this is Revelation. What is that? Revelation 14:8. So I'm going to go to both of these scriptures. Revelation 14:8. It was at 8 or 3. You can hardly see it. 8. And there followed Revelation 14:8. And there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. What is a fornication? We saw the video on it. You guys coming over here to spread sodomy and debauchery. And that's exactly what the military does. They bring two weapons. You know, their penises and their ways of life to corrupt the rest of the world, and their military. And if you don't accept their ways, they declare war with you. The word there is porneia. And fornication means adultery. That's all it means. It doesn't mean having sex before marriage. It means if you have sex with a girl before y'all get married, if that's the first time she's laying with a man, I don't care if damn how many women this man lay with, but if this man lays with a woman for the first time, they are, in the eyes of the Lord, their husband and wife. Read the story of Isaac and Rebekah. They didn't have no marriage ceremony. The minute he laid eyes on Rebekah, he took her in the tent. He was depressed because of his mother, Sarah. And after he laid with the woman, he fell in love with that woman. And the woman fell in love, Rebekah fell in love with him. And that was it. It says adultery, fornication, homosexuality, which leads into that. The bigger pictures, it really means adultery. But like I said, this military, they bring homosexuality, they bring bestiality to the world, lesbianism, you know, the sex change operations, intercourse with animals, and that's another thing that they into too. Sexual intercourse with close relatives, sexual intercourse with a divorced man or a woman. No. It's talking about a woman, not a man. Unless that's a woman that's with another man. And that's what goes on in this country. The worship of idols. There's a show called American Idol. Of the defilement of idolatry as incurred by eating the sacrifices offered to idols. And there's a spiritual fornication. When you do anything against the scriptures or the Most High, like just one thing that America's doing that the Most High be justified destroying them is the Sabbath. There's no Sabbath. There's no Sabbath. Back in the day, they had blue laws. They still have it in parts of New Jersey, but it was all over the country where everything was closed. You know, like on so-called Thanksgiving, pretty much everything was closed. Well, that's how it was every Sunday, because that was their Sabbath. But Sunday goes into sun worship. So, okay, it goes into harlotry. That's why this Babylon is also known as the harlot that sitteth upon many waters, the harlot or the whore that sitteth upon the scarlet-colored beast that John lusted after, including adultery and incest, figuratively, idolatry, fornication. So there's a spiritual fornication. You jakes that's into this comedic stuff, that's fornication. And guess what's going to happen? You're going to take the MOTB and you're going to be destroyed. That means our Sarnetta, all of them. The Most High got them in that book. They're definitely not in the book of life. They are definitely not written. And Shaka is not written in the book of life. All right? Sarnetta is not written in the book of life, lest they repent. If they don't repent, they're going to take the charagma and they're going to be destroyed in that order. See, these right here in the New Testament, Romans, John, it's talking about actual fornication when a man lays down with a woman that's dealing with another man. That's fornication. That's a sin unto death. When the Apostle Paul and Peter, the Apostle Peter, when they had the Cornelius, you call that? Jerusalem Council. They were saying that it was over circumcision. You know, you're not going to enter into the kingdom unless you're circumcised. So he had a council on that. And he said, nah, you don't necessarily have to be circumcised, but there's certain laws that you got to keep. You can't commit adultery, which is fornication. You can't eat animals that were strangled or the blood. So there's a few laws that were, you know, important to your health. And adultery is one of them because that's a law unto death. So any law unto death, you couldn't go into it. The Apostle Paul goes into Colossians 2:16 about don't let another man judge you about high holy days and things that are going to come in the future. So I'm going to come down to Revelation. Now, Revelation 2:21, so you can know whether you think, well, you're not sure. And I gave her, which is Jezebel, space to repent of her fornication, and she repented not. It's not talking about a woman named Jezebel. It's talking about a philosophy. In other words, the Kemetic way of life that you're laying with Jezebel. Roman Catholicism, Jezebel. This is the woman with many philosophies. Matter of fact, let me go over here. I believe that's Proverbs 7, if I'm not mistaken. Proverbs. Let's see if I'm right. Okay, Proverbs 79. In the twilight. I'll start at 7, Proverbs 7:7. And beheld among the simple ones I discern among the youth a young man void of understanding, passing through the streets near her corner. Now the her represents a her, but it actually represents philosophies. And he went the way to her house. You went to that temple. You want to become like you had a Heavy D. He became a Buddhist. The dude from Mount Vernon, he a Benjaminite. Where's a Buddhist temple in Mount Vernon, which is north of the Bronx? All right. Tina Turner is from down south. Where's a Buddhist temple anywhere down south? It's when they got into that, you know, the entertainment, as far as the entertainment world is concerned, they became superstars. So they're not going to follow. They were raised up a Baptist. They're not going to follow baptism. You gotta, you know, I've been hanging around with these white people, man. Buddhist is the way. What's this? Tom Cruise. He's in this. What the hell is that religion? Dianetics. You know. So that's what that's talking about. You know, you see Sarnetta speak and you follow Sarnetta and you go into studies and you teach that nonsense about going back to Africa, which none of them clowns are going back to Africa. And them guys that push that African shit, ain't none of them gonna, they might have businesses out there, but they ain't gonna move out there. Jake ain't going back to no damn Africa. But they'll push that Hotep nonsense. And then Christians in general, and the hell with all Christians, especially mainly of our people. I'm talking about our people. Any of you Christians, especially you that follow Vocab Malone, when the Most High takes you out, we're gonna rejoice. We're gonna party. So I hope you got that. You see what talk? You got damn right. You got damn right. Hey, Peter, when Peter didn't cry or get sad when what's the two? It's in Acts the 5th chapter. When them two people dropped dead, the husband and the wife, Peter didn't act sad. They didn't call the Roman authorities. They said, we're gonna laugh at their destruction. The angels are gonna laugh. We're gonna laugh too. We're gonna rejoice when we see this place. That's in Revelation 18. And he went the way of her house, meaning whatever temple that they have, in the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark night, and behold, there met him a woman with the attire of an harlot and subtile of heart. And that's really spiritually, that's talking about that's talking about Jezebel in Revelation chapter 2. So any of you, Islam, whatever it is, if you don't know that you're an Israelite, then you might know that you're an Israelite, but you only believe in the Old Testament. The Most High is not dealing with you. You are going to take the MOTB and you're going to die. You got Ron Dalton that knows he's an Israelite, but he's all over the place. He doesn't really know. He doesn't have the full truth. In order for you to get the full truth, you got to come up under the tutelage of the true men of the Most High, which is GMS. So this right here, so you can get it right, Revelation 2, verse 21. Matter of fact, let me open this up. The woman at the well, the Samaritan woman at the well, she was of another nation. The woman that had the daughter that was grievously vexed with the devil, Syrophoenician by nation, she was an Israelite, but in a Gentile state of mind. Revelation 2, verse 19, I know that works in charity and service, and saith, and faith, we're a faith-based group, right? And thy patience, and thy works, and the last to be more than the first. Notwithstanding, I have a few things against thee, because thou sufferest that woman Jezebel. It ain't talking about Jezebel from the past. Let's see what they say. Jezebel is not an actual woman. Jezebel represents these philosophies. Jezebel. Let's see what they say about Jezebel. It says, wife of Ahab, he's an Israelite, a wicked ass Israelite, and impious and cruel queen who protected idolatry and persecuted the prophets. And she was looking to kill Elijah. The symbolic name of a woman who pretended to be a prophetess and who, addicted to antinomianism, claimed Christian liberty of eating things sacrificed to idols. So now they're saying that there's an actual woman that did that. It doesn't say too much, as you can see here. It doesn't say too much about her, but that's a spirit. And that represents, when you go back to Proverbs 7 and 7 on down, it represents these different philosophies. It's not talking about an actual woman. When you go to Revelation chapter 14, and it speaks about them being virgins, you got people that are saying, well, if you had sex with a woman, then you ain't gonna make it because you're not of the elect. No, that's virgins, meaning they were untouched by these philosophies. You might have been brought up as a Baptist as a kid because your mother dragged you to church. And me and my friends, when we were like 10 years old, 11 years old, we used to go to church just to get the girls. We wouldn't listen to the preacher. We said, man, fuck the preacher. That nigga ain't saying nothing. We used to go to get the little girls in church. Go out, take them out to the movies and whatnot. I did that at 10 years old. I knew about the bird. I knew about what, what the interaction between, unlike some of you short bus going to school motherfuckers. All right. So it's not actually a woman, because it says that if you go to bed with her, let me bring this back over here. And I gave her space. I'm sorry. 20th verse, notwithstanding, I have a few things against thee, because thou sufferest that woman Jezebel, which calleth herself a prophetess, to teach and to seduce my servants to commit fornication, spiritual fornication, and to eat things sacrificed unto idols. Like if you're part of the GOCC, right? They teach that Edomites can make it. Well, guess what? That's the spirit of Jezebel. It says, and I gave her space to repent of her fornication, and she repented not. Behold, I will cast her into a bed. So we know the Most High is not going to say, well, let me take this woman, let me take this hoe and put her in the bed and tie her up, bondage style, S&M style, and see how many y'all. No, it's a spiritual fornication. It says, behold, I will cast her into a bed, and them that commit adultery with her into great tribulation, except they repent of their deeds. So what you had back there, you go back to the book of Jude, the whole book of Jude goes into that. You had people that were in the truth, but they were going off on certain things. Like I gave the example of GOCC talking about Edomites can make it. You had Israelites that say, oh, we only deal with the Old Testament. We don't accept that the Messiah came. We believe there were Israelites, but Edomites can make it. Or you can do this, or you can do that. Then you got Christian jakes that are into Christianity that say you can eat anything you want to eat. It says, and I will kill her children with death, and all the churches shall know that I am he which searches the reins and the hearts, meaning he knows your heart. And I will give unto every one of you according to your works. But unto you I say, unto the rest in Thyatira, as many as have not this doctrine. There's only one doctrine. It's Ephesians 4. One doctrine, one name, one doctrine. And which have not known the depths of Satan. We're not ignorant of Satan's devices. So one of Satan's devices is the Charisma. So we know the depth of Satan. As they speak, I will put upon you none of the burden, but that which ye have already hold fast till I come. What do we have? We have this truth. So anybody that turns their back on this truth, you're not one of the men of the Lord. Let's come back over here. I'm stretching this out a little bit. Okay, Revelation 9, verse 21, neither repented they of their murders, nor of their sorceries, nor of their fornication, adultery, nor of their theft, their debauchery, their corruption. And this is after the missiles destroy America. Esau is going to be in their own thing because they're full of pride. So they're going to try to fight us, and we're going to make it. It's going to be like that scene with Magneto with them police. He said, "You Homo sapiens and your guns," and turned a long gun or whatever gun the cop had, turned it around and made the cop shoot himself. So we're going to have that power. X-Men meaning unknown men. We are the X-Men. We are the true X-Men. But we're going to have the powers of all of them. We're not just going to have the power of fire or the power of coal or the power of metal. We're gonna have, because remember, Magneto's power couldn't work if there was no metal around. So he was powerless. Guess what? We're gonna have power over everything. We're gonna flip tanks when we want to. And we read on Revelation 14, verse 8, and there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And what's part of it? What those GIs are doing over there in Poland. They're out there looking for women, and women are saying, oh, it's American GIs. And this woman got a husband at home. So this bullshit about America bringing God to the world, that's all, yeah, the God of the underworld. That's why this place is going to, the reason why the Most High is going to destroy this place in this manner is to make an ultimate example of what the Most High is going to do to these people if you're wicked. And they're going to have to pay for us putting us into captivity. So this is look, you cannot compare this thing that's going to happen to anything in history. A lot of things. You had the eruption of Mount Vesuvius. Look that up. You know, you had all kind of things happen in the ancient world. You know, World War I, World War II, all kind of heinous crimes that were committed. The World Trade Center, that's going to pale in comparison to what's going to happen to Babylon the Great. And the average person doesn't know what the hell is going on. Yo, fuck this goddamn place, man. And the Most High going to get you small hats. And thank you, ADL, for bringing this thing out, because now Jake is talking about it. And now now there's no excuse. Because everybody kept up with Kyrie and Ye, right? So what was the conversation around Kanye and Ye and Nick Cannon? And every time some Jake said something that they deemed to be negative against the small hats came after him. So Jake is saying, maybe go more into this. So there's no excuse, man. There's no excuse. We as GMS, we don't got to say, well, let's go to Africa and set up camps out there. Let's go to this place. Yo, we got people from Australia, Germany, literally all over the world, and including Africa. There's one guy put a comment in saying, this guy put a comment in years ago, because I did a video on Africa and the truth going to Africa. And there's one guy from Africa, I believe from GMS Africa, one of these guys, he said to her, he said, you and Bishop Nathaniel are famous in Africa. I can't even spell Africa. I've never been nowhere near Africa. So how in the hell am I famous in Africa? I remember back, this had to be like 2011, 2010, when we first came out. It could have been 2008. There was a video out in China of me speaking, but there was like a voiceover, a Chinese guy. And I'm like, you know, that's when I was younger. I slowed down a little bit. I speak more, not yell. And they got a Chinese guy speaking Chinese, but you see me, but what's coming out of my mouth is Chinese. So there's Chinese people. Brother put up a video, I think in Japan, where there's flyers out there that the true Israelites are the black people in America. So this is getting out. So you cannot tell me if you have a smartphone or a PC. Everybody named mama got a PC. Everybody named mama got a cell phone or a smartphone. You cannot tell me you have not run across a video dealing with the Israelites. So you're committed. So either you look deeper into it, and if you're one of the elect, you're gonna look deeper into it. If you look at it and you watch some videos and you say what you're gonna say, and you don't come into this thing, you're not of the elect. You're not written in the Lamb's Book of Life. And guess what? You are going to die unless you're in another country. But then when this change of world take place, you're gonna have to take a side, because we ain't gonna be playing with y'all. If you got we go down to South America and you still talking about I still eat alligators and monkey feet, we're gonna kill you on the spot with spiritual power. it says in Revelation 17, verse 2, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication. Their fornication is what? Their philosophies. You can be a Mo, you know, you can have a sex change operation. You know, they'll go to like places like the Arab world, and they try to Americanize the Arab world, where you have, the situation with the women in Iran that got put to death by the morality police because she didn't want to wear that scarf. Well, guess what? You got to, hey, that's what the Most High did. There were certain sins that you committed that was considered harmless. They put you to death because she wanted to be Americanized. I met many Iranian people, and when they come to America, they become Americanized. And so they're trying to push that over there in Iran. And ultimately, that's going to lead to what? Russia protecting Iran. Everything's getting lined up beautifully. Everything is getting lined up lovely. This is all a setup. And Esau doesn't know it. And Esau watches us. And he's saying, we're going to have to take these people down. We're your saviors, man. We're trying to get you right. But guess what? At the end of the day, you ain't going to get right. It's not in your nature to get right, because the spirit that's in you goes back to Genesis chapter 4. Blame it on your daddy Cain. And I'm not talking about Big Daddy Cain. I'm talking about your daddy Cain. It says, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication. They became Americanized. You go to Japan, you go to China. Oh, you go to Egypt. All these Jays going to Egypt, right? They never showed you, when you looking at the pyramids, this is the pyramid of Cheops, this is the pyramid of this, this is the pharaoh this and the pharaoh that. Take the goddamn camera and turn that shit around 180 degrees. You know what you're going to see? McDonald's, Burger King. You're going to see KFC. You're going to see Wendy's. You're going to see modern hotels. So when they eat, they're not eating Egyptian food. They're not eating alligator meat. They're not eating monkey meat. They're going to the different Americanized restaurants. Why are those restaurants there? For the Americans, the Westerners to come to that world. They're familiar with those restaurants. And the people that live in Egypt to get a taste of the Western world, Americanization. In Japan, they have cultures. They got like a Chicano culture. They think they fucking Chicanos, Mexicans. Then they got like a 70s, 60s hip hop, not a hip hop. They do have a hip hop culture. They have, I remember years ago when I was a kid, I used to go to Skate Key in the Bronx. I went a couple of times. I remember there was this one Japanese guy there that would stand off and he would just watch Jake do the electric boogie, whatever you call it, the break dancing and all that. And he would look, and then the next time he'd come back again, and then what they would do is they would bring it back to Japan. That's why the number one break dancers come out of Korea and Japan, because they come to the Americas, and learn from Jake. You know? Hey, they look at, in China, like I said, Kyrie, fuck Kyrie, man. Kyrie got buck broken, all right? He got buck broken. All Kyrie had to do was say, and I thought he was going to do that, man. If he was a real G, he would have did that. He would have said, you know what? I'm putting in my letter of resignation. I no longer play for the Nets, and I no longer am involved in. But he got to deal with the lawyers to see if he can do that, or just simply say, I'm not going to fucking apologize. And guess what? They would have cut his contract. And guess what he could have did? He could have went to China, and they would have looked at him as a god. He's already a god in China. He's already a god in China. He would have been more of a god if he went to China. But Jake ain't going to do that because he loves America. So IUIC, you went out there marching for this guy. He said, I got an army. The army came out and you shitted on that army. It says, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication. Some idiot in the church to say, see, that's when you have sex, a man and a woman have sex before they get married. See, because if Joseph actually had sex with Mary, because they didn't get married yet, that's fornication. So it's impossible for you dumb Christian monkey-minded fool. There's a spiritual meaning behind the word fornication. There's physical fornication, which is adultery, and there's spiritual fornication. And the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine, the philosophy, the policies, the way of life of her what? Her fornication, of her corruption, her wickedness. Let me, damn. Where did I come across the word corrupt? Let me just keep reading. 4th verse, Revelation 17:4. And the woman who was arrayed in purple and scarlet color and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. That's why I open it up with those GIs over there in Poland. What they're going to do, they're going to bring that corruption over there, which is already corrupt because they've been over there and popping them women. A lot of them, there's Moes over there, There's guys in the military that go both ways. Let me read that again. And the woman was arrayed. And by the way, for this clown, Vocab Malone, when you go into proving that the Most High is a so-called black man and the Lord is a black man, and you see the image of a man in Revelation 1 and the image of a man on the throne in Daniel 7, well, that's symbolic. That doesn't mean. But did Daniel actually see a man sit on the throne with a woolly hair? Well, no, woolly means white. No, woolly is the texture, right? And in Revelation 1, well, woolly is white wool, meaning his head was white. That means he had leprosy, man. The Most High is going to send down the Lord in his glorious body with leprosy? Were you supposed to be out the camp, but he's presenting himself to John? And anybody that, but like I said, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Shalak Rayam, Haragyam, and Nashyam, Mashapatyam, Haragyam, to all you niggas that are following vocab in Christianity that have came across these videos and bucked up against it. That goes for you men and you women, you bunch of dummies. All of you going to die. You're going to take the MOTB and you're going to die. That's the next big thing. That's the next big thing that we're looking for is the MOTB, is the C-hip. I keep bringing it up and I'm keep saying it. And this clown that died, Tazadakia, so-called God-sent comforter, he did a video going into the MOTB. You know what he said? You know what that nigga said it was? He said, that's socialism. Well, if that's the case, we all got the MOTB because we're living in a socialist democratic society, man. You tell the average American, do you know this is so? No, it's not social. You don't even know that. You don't know what a socialist is. You don't know what that is. You dummy. And the woman was arrayed with purple and scarlet color. And it was an actual woman. And you can see her nipples. You can see her legs. You can see she had the thick thighs and the thick calves. You know his brothers like the thick thighs and the thick calves with the stilettos on, with the fishnet or whatever designer, shit that they got on, John the apostle was turned on by her, and the angel checked him. He said, "Nigga, what the fuck you looking at her? I'm doing it. And what the fuck you looking at that bitch? That fucking bitch. You know what we gonna do with that bitch? We gonna burn that bitch." You gotta put, I mean, the angel didn't say that, but to bring it in street vernacular, so this hood vernacular, he said, the fuck you looking at that fucking hoe, that nasty bitch for? Don't you know we're gonna burn this fucking hoe? We gonna burn this hoe, nigga. And John was getting, oh my goodness. Look at them nipples. Look at them thighs. Look at them thighs. You know, America is a brick house indeed. Almighty, mighty, just letting it all hang out. What do you mean letting it all hang out? She was letting it all hang out to what? To deceive the world. And then you got the military. I heard this, I forget where I heard it from. Let me get ready to close. I forget where I heard this from, but it was saying that when the military, during the time of Desert Storm, when they went over there, you had certain commanding officers that would just tell the GIs the truth. They would say, look, this is the reason why we're here. We're here for the oil. Or this is the reason why we're in Afghanistan, because of the two things, because of the poppy, which is opioids. You got two drugs, right? You got street drugs, right? And then you got pharmaceutical drugs, which is based upon opioids. It's all opioids, man. That's why they come down on people on drugs, because people can actually feel better with the street drugs than the pharmaceutical drugs. And it's set up that way so you can keep coming back. Remember, you get addicted on pharmaceutical drugs as well as street drugs. And it makes you intoxicated, which is the wine, which is the philosophy. So you're being bombarded with all this shit that you see on the TV and these different movies and stuff. Like I said, Jake is waking up. They're not having, I remember as a kid, you used to always have movies on so-called Jesus Christ, the greatest story ever told, all these different movies, right? About Jesus, so-called Jesus Christ. They're not even playing it no more, because you know what? I'm waiting until they come out with a new movie on the white Jesus. So that's a topic for me. And everybody knows that Jesus Christ nowadays, in the new millennium, nowadays is a black man. They'll say this, if not for anything else, not for the scriptures, well, that climate, you had dark people over there. How'd you have a white guy over there? When you did have white people over there, which was south of Jerusalem, which was Mount Seir, Petra, the land of Edom. This clown vocabulary, well, how did Europeans get down there into the land of Edom? Because they started from the land of Edom and they worked their way up. They scattered just like the Israelites did. You know what the fuck you talk. You know what's going on. Okay, so you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna open this up. Let me open this up to show you the angel got mad at John for lusting after her, right? Is this it? Let me do this. Let me do this. Let me do this. Okay, I do have it. Revelation 17, verse 4. And the woman was arrayed in purple and the scarlet color and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of a fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abomination of the earth. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints. Go back to Daniel 7, wore out the saints of the Most High. So I don't know how many millions of Israelites this devil killed. So when we get you in the kingdom, it's not going to be nice for you. You're going to be working your ass off and you're going to be getting fucked up at the same time. You're going to be working with eyes missing, with limbs missing. You know, we'll work you for 3 days straight. You know, if you fall, we'll throw water on you, we'll sick animals on you and get your ass up to work. Then we'll let you sleep for about 15 minutes and get your black ass up, or your white ass up. I'm sorry, your red ass up. We're going to kick you in the ass. You know, we're going to do all kinds of things to you, man, because we're remembering all of this. I will bring all things into your remembrance, right? Though you once knew this. That's why vocab, you cannot change us from being Israelites. When you came, When you came out there and confronted us, there was at one point of that meeting that you looked at myself and Apostle Gabar and Apostle Ram and the rest of us, and you kind of, like, I saw it in your eye. You said, I can't change these guys. I can't work with these guys. So you turned and looked at the younger brothers and you started talking to them. And I believe I said, you ain't gonna. I said, vocab, you're not gonna change them guys. You're not gonna change their mind. You know. It says it says six verse, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua, and that happened back. Peter was a martyr. Stephen was a martyr. Paul was a martyr. They were all martyrs. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. When you look that word up, it means he lusted after her. And the angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel? Why you looking at her like that? I will show you the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carrieth her, which hath the 7 heads and 10 horns. And I go through this over and over again. But I wanted to get another word out. Let me do this. Bear with me for a minute. It's either corrupt or corruption, but it's in Revelation. Okay, it's not. Okay, let me do it this way. Let me try it this way. Okay, this is what I wanted. Revelation 19, verse 2. For true and righteous are his judgments, for he hath judged the great whore, which did corrupt the earth with her fornication, and hath avenged the blood of his servants at her hand. Now it says, you know what I'm gonna do? Let me pull these words out. We know what fornication means, right? What the hell just happened? Okay. Revelation 19, verse 1. And after these things, I heard a great voice of much people in heaven saying, hallelujah, salvation and glory and honor and power unto the Most High, Yahweh Bashanal Shai. For true and righteous are, and now remember, this is after Revelation 18. So John saw the utter destruction of Revelation and spoken of in Revelation 18. So this is after that. So he sees the place done. It's done. It's a desert. It's completely destroyed, set on fire, the lake of fire. So this is the aftermath of this, right? For true and righteous are his judgments. For he hath judged the great whore, which is in Revelation 18, one of my favorite scripture. Very simple scripture to understand if you know the truth. Not too hard, but it's beautiful because I look at it as like closing credits of a movie, which did corrupt the earth with her fornication and have avenged the blood of his servants at her hand. So this place is going to be destroyed because the Most High is going to get this place back for what they did to us, the elect, the men of the Lord, the apostles, the bishops, the elders, the teachers, all the men and the women, and then the rest of Israel. So it says, for he hath judged the great whore. It's not Vatican City for you dummies out there, which did corrupt the earth. Just look up the word corrupt. And that's what those 4 GIs were doing. They were bringing corruption to the earth, to the other parts of the world. That's why ultimately, Revelation 17, those NATO nations, those allies are going to shoot missiles on America as well. You're worrying about Iran and Korea and Russia. You're going to have to worry about everybody that has missiles. What the hell? I'm sorry, for true and righteous are his judgments. Judge great whore, which did corrupt. This is what I want, corrupt.
Strong's G 5351. Thyro. Thyro.
Okay, you heard it. Phiro are probably strengthened from phytio to pine or waste. To corrupt, to destroy. In the opinion of the Jews, the temple was corrupted or destroyed. And this is what Esau did coming out of Babylon. Their job was to corrupt the world. For people to consider going from being a man to a woman. Now they're going into transhumanism to merge man with robot, man with machine, and it's going to start with the Charagma. So you're going to become a part. You're going to become like a smartphone, a living smartphone. Because a smartphone doesn't work unless it has a chip in it, right? They call it a SIM card, a chip. You used to be able to take it out. Now, when you get these newest smartphones, the battery, you can't take the battery out. You can't open it. If you open it, you destroy it. You can't take the chip out. The chip is embedded along with the battery in that phone. So they're gonna do that to you. They're gonna make it the way the smartphone works. You're gonna be the new smartphone through the Charagma. It said to corrupt, to destroy, in a philosophical sense, in a policy sense. In the opinion of the Jews, the temple was corrupted or destroyed when anyone defiled or in the slightest degree damaged anything in it. What did Antiochus Epiphanes did? He defiled the temple, right? He corrupted the temple. He put a swine up in there. And the Lord said, when the abomination that maketh desolate, he was talking about the Roman armies led by Titus, went into the Holy of Holies, a holy place, then run and flee. When they tear the walls down and they go into the temple and they go into the treasury and they take the temple, that's what the Arch of Titus was all about. Them celebrating the fact that they took all your shit. It says, damage anything in it, or the very presence of you going into the inner temple, that's corruption right there. Or if it's guardians neglected their duties, and see, we're guardians of this truth. That's why we can't neglect our duties. A lot of you guys have neglected your duties. We're holding post. Remember the movie Dances with Wolves with Kevin Costner? They put him at post, and he was down there like a fool, but he was a perfect soldier. And his commanding officer was a bug out. And he just had him out there, and he just stayed waiting for the next order. Well, guess what? That's us. The Apostle Paul said, I became a fool for Yahushua's sake, prisoner of Yahushua. He spoke about his fellow brother and sister, mainly brother, as my yoke fellow. To lead away a Christian, meaning an Israelite that knows the Israelite church from that state of knowledge and holiness in which it ought to abide. Meaning at one time when I was a child, many, many years ago in the 60s and 70s, it started to, the blue law started going away slowly but surely. Now you got liquor stores that's open 7 days a week. Liquor stores used to be closed on Sundays because it was part of the blue laws. Now you can go to the liquor store on a Sunday, every day of the week, 7 days of the week. So this place is corrupted. And then the average people, they just go by their politicians. That's why you dummies stand up, get on lines and vote. For what? Especially, that's why Jake, the so-called black men are not voting and the black women are getting mad. Because Jake's eyes is open to the game, man. That is all bullshit. And if you get anything, you're getting crumbs. How many crumbs does it make to make a pie? You're getting crumbs. They'll give you a little bit over here. They give you a little, like this fucking black, this shriveled up Muppet, Al Sharpton. I mean, what he did recently, he's in the same group. He's in the same box as a Shaquille O'Neal and what's his Charles Barkley. So you're gonna find it out, man. They call in LeBron James. They call him the small hats little puppy, because they don't want to. These niggas are multi-millionaires, man. I think LeBron is a billionaire. He's got to be a billionaire with all the endorsements, with his contracts and everything. He's a billionaire. But guess what? They don't want to lose $1 million. They don't want to lose $500,000. They don't want to lose it. They don't want to go from a billionaire status to somebody who's worth about 50 million. So every last one of them, including Kyrie, they're gonna take the charagma. They're gonna take that charagma and they're gonna die. Now this guy, Al Sharpton, that old shriveled up Muppet, they asked him about the punishment, and he said, the punishment was just. So he's truly an insider, man. He's truly an insider. We knew about that years ago, but he talks a good game. It said to be destroyed, to perish, in an ethical sense. What did these guys do when they went to Poland? They corrupted that place. To corrupt, deprave. So this system, Babylon, America, was set up to corrupt the world. It was set up to corrupt the world. Now, corrupt is not written in here too many times. Oh, corrupt. Let me read this one. Second, I'm going to close. 2 Corinthians 11, verse 3. But I fear lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve. Is the serpent here among us today? Yeah, it's Esau. It's the elite of the government of Esau. And don't even think about doing a lockdown, because Jake is going to lose it, and Esau. They're going to lose it. They're going to really lose it. You see what's going on in certain parts of China? There's a video out where they're trying to lock them down, and the Moabites ain't having it, man. They're going ape shit on those people with the white suits on. They're going ape shit on them, man. Ain't nobody, that lockdown thing fucked up a lot of people, man. So that shit is not going to happen again, man. And that's Second Ezra 15, around about the 15th verse. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go to that and then I'm gonna close. Second Ezra 15. And that's the 15th verse or thereabouts. Yeah, 15th verse. For the sword in their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another people in swords. Modern day swords is a gun in their hands. For there shall be sedition. Sedition means to speak about to rile up people. You make speeches to rile up people to take the existing government down. So this guy should be locked up, Trump, for sedition, because he was going to do something. The steal, what do they call it? The big steal. They stole the elections. We got to go down. We're going to go down there on January 6th. So he egged them on. So that's why they're looking to get him, but they can't get him because Satan is with him. Remember, that's Nero. For there coming back, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings, the presidents, the governors, nor princes, their governors, the mayors, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. And the course of whose action shall stand in their power? The people. They're going to get the upper hand. They're going to get the upper hand. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom. On to the next one.